John Settle. Let's go back to this text. Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884. Hang on a second. The phone shut down, so it will take me just a second. But it was the one. Here we go. In reference to the Cedric Glover social media post last week. I think Glover, it said, might be referring to the fact that it was a group of Republicans who brought Adrian Perkins here to run in the first place, in cooperation with the usual old guard Shreveport Democrat leadership types. Do you think there was actually a meeting where these local Republican leaders all got together and said, you know what? We can't get a white guy elected mayor of Shreveport for nothing. What we need to do is we need to find a young, dynamic African-American guy, preferably who graduated from the Service Academy, maybe even went to Harvard Law School, and run him as a Democrat, and we'll trick people into voting for him.
I think that's far-fetched. I think it's really, really far-fetched to think that. And maybe I'm naive, but I don't see that scenario playing out at all.
You don't think it happened at all?
No, I don't think so.
Which way do you think those 35% are going to break? You said earlier in the segment that because I had said to you 30 minutes ago, I said, it's talking to folks. I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who may, on the Republican side of that 35% Taliaferro and Savage sector, that there's a lot of those leaning towards staying home. You disagree?
Well, I said the last time I was here that of the 14% that Savage polled, I thought that if they all voted, that Adrian would get 8%. And Savage's supporters may stay at home because they weren't mainstream Republicans. They were dissatisfied people, I think, at least the ones I saw when I went to his announcement or event at the state fairgrounds. I think Taliaferro's crowd will vote, and I think that they may split 2020, but I don't see Ollie picking up. I see they may split 50-50. So I think Perkins has at least 50% of Taliaferro's vote. I think 85% of his voters will vote again, and he may get more than 50%. Savage, maybe only 60% of his vote, but Perkins will get most of those. So the Republicans are going to go out because there's 4 council races, 3 of which have Republicans in it. And I think that plus their historic voting patterns will show up.
When you were here a couple of times ago, and it was before the general election, which was what, November 6th or whatever.
Correct.
And you went out on that limb and you said that you thought, from looking at the numbers, the fundraising numbers, from the polls, from everything that you just sort of had a sense of, you said, I think Adrian's going to win the primary, the general election. By in fact, I remember you saying by 4 or 5%. It turned out to be 29-24. You walked out of here, I think that guy's crazy, because everything else said Ollie's going to be in the low to mid 30s, maybe higher, and it race for second place, I think was the phrase used. And you turned out to be right. That being the case, for the December 6th runoff, or whatever the date happens to be, I think it's the 8th maybe. What do you think? Give me a breakdown, Perkins and Tyler.
I think Perkins will have 60%, maybe 65%. I don't see Ollie's campaign going anywhere. I sense a tremendous amount of momentum in Perkins' campaign, and dollars don't buy votes, but they help get votes. And to raise $100,000 in 3 days is substantial.
Are you surprised by the sort of under-the-radar tone that the campaign has taken on since the general election? Or is it way more intense out there and the candidates are just doing it eating the elephant a bite at a time, as it were?
I don't know what Tyler's doing. Tyler's doing some things. Perkins is being, from what I hear, being very, very active in all parts of the community. I mean, I hear he's gone to this. He's had a fundraiser last Thursday night, this past week, that had over 100 people there. I think he's working very hard, quietly, meeting at lots of different segments of the community. Mayor Tyler, to my knowledge, has only gone to a couple of churches to get the endorsement from ministers, and she had that luncheon this past Friday. I don't think she is mounting much of a campaign in the sense of actively meeting with people. throughout the community. That
Blunt
never
que-
has been a strength of Mayor
Blunt
Tyler.
question: should Ollie be out there? And Matt used the term last week, and it was on the money. Should Miss Ollie be out there working the old white guy vote?
Well, she has a certain amount of that because the people who supported the first time, the heavy white voters,
The establishment money, as it were.
yeah, they're going to have a hard time not supporting her again. But you know, who knows what lever they'll pull back there? But I don't know that she has the time or the energy to work that. You know, she still has a full-time job as mayor, and to her credit, she is still going to City Hall, going to City Council meetings, going to the police cadet graduation. She's still carrying on and doing her job as mayor. She's not taking a total vacation and just doing politics.
She's not mailing it in, to put it bluntly.
Correct.